The title of this video is Third Eye Development Part 4, Your Psychic Office. In this guided meditation session, we're going to develop some tools that you can use to develop your clairvoyant and other psychic abilities, especially when you're doing energy clearing and healing work. This is a training exercise. You'll have some techniques that you're going to find very useful in doing future psychic readings. The first video in this series in my YouTube Psychic Development playlist is Why You Need to Be Psychic. And that video lays down a good foundation of understanding so that you'll have an idea of what the motive is of why you want to develop psychic abilities. It's not just for parlor tricks. It's not to impress people. It's to give you a motivation to stick to practicing. And once you become familiar with the procedures on this video, you're going to be able to apply them to reading the energy patterns and auras and chakras, and most importantly, how to clear and heal the energies that you find there. With further practice, you're going to be able to apply what you're learning to distant healing and remote viewing. As I guide you through this session, and as you practice on your own, you may think that these are gimmicks. You might be tempted to skip them, but if you do, and especially at the beginning, you probably won't develop the skills to a very high degree. Listen, I know what I'm talking about. I've taught hundreds of people these skills through hundreds of classes over more than 30 years. I know that they are safe, I know that they are effective, and I know that this is a good training procedure. So, I'm talking about learning to read, clear, and shift very subtle energies. And it takes most people 2 years to form a solid foundation and feel confident enough doing psychic readings. It takes sometimes even more months and years to really refine your experience. Because believe me, as you start doing these, you're going to start having experiences that you're not going to find in all the books. But these are experiences that are going to enrich your life and give you a much deeper and broader understanding of how this universe is populated and how it works. So I'll be sharing information about other dimensions and what you might find there and how to deal with them. That's all coming in future videos. This program is not about zapping you with a jolt of Shaktipat energy that instantaneously makes you a psychic master. That's not the way learning to become psychic works, nor is it the way life works. You really need to apply yourself, and it takes months, sometimes even years, to become really proficient if you really want to get good. So it does take a lot of dedication. But even with this video, you're going to be able to start doing it. These videos will need to be practiced numerous times so that you can become proficient. So let's begin. This practice is best done while you're in a seated position. So begin by putting your feet flat on the floor. And you should not be doing this while you're doing anything else. Certainly not driving or operating machinery or doing anything like that. You want your hands to be palms up on your lap. And gently close your eyes, beginning with a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for an instant, and then let it gently out through your mouth. Now, you're always going to want to be grounded when you're doing psychic work. And a good way to do that is to imagine that you are sitting on a tree stump 3 feet in diameter. Make it the color of wood. The trunk of this tree goes all the way down to the center of the earth. And so while you're using your imagination to create that, you want to say the words, what you're doing while you're doing it. I anchor a 3-foot diameter grounding column to my first chakra at the base of my spine, and I send it straight down to the center of the earth, where 25,000 roots firmly anchor it to the core of the planet. Now, you can add more roots if you want to. Some people put thousands of roots, tens of thousands of roots, hundreds of thousands of roots, whatever will give you the sense that you firmly have rooted yourself and anchored into the earth. Down the center of this grounding column, I want you to now anchor another grounding column. This one is 2 feet in diameter. It is firmly anchored into your first chakra. And then you send it down, straight down to the center of the earth, and you secure it there with another 25,000 roots, or more if you like, into the core of the planet. And now, down the center of this grounding column, you'll send another one. I now anchor another grounding column. This one is 1 foot in diameter, and it is firmly anchored to my first chakra, and I send it straight down to the center of the earth, and I secure it there with 25,000 more roots to the core of the planet. Now, pull your aura in to 18 inches. You do this simply by stating the intention to yourself. It's your energy field, this is your aura, and it will respond to your requests and your intentions. So you ask, I ask my aura to come in all around me to 18 inches, no more, no less. And then you scan yourself to be sure that it is an even 18 inches all the way around you. If you detect any areas where it's indented, fill it in with golden light. Bring yourself into present time by asserting, I now call all of my energy into present time, right here and right now. And I release and dissolve all energy other than mine. The next important practice is related to your point of view when you are doing a psychic reading. The best place for you to do this is to observe from the center of your head. So imagine that your awareness and your consciousness is looking out forward from between your eyebrows. And you can think of this as your executive office in the center of your head. And you're in your comfortable captain's chair. And you are looking straight out through the third eye between your eyebrows. You also want to check the space in the center of your head and see if you sense anyone else in your office. You want to check to see if anybody else's energy is on you. And if you find someone's energy there, it'll usually come to you like a memory. And this is actually quite common. So anytime you've been interacting with somebody, you've probably picked up some energy from them, as I've discussed in previous videos. And so when that happens, you have some of that person's energy on you, and it clings to you even after you have finished talking to them. And then when you tune in to the space in the center of your head, you'll bring them to mind. You'll maybe even see them in there. So this can happen anytime, either when you're putting your attention on someone else or they're putting their attention on you, either for positive or negative reasons. To have clear psychic impressions, you do not want anyone else's energy on you. So just tell them it's time for them to leave, give them a gentle little nudge, and send them back to where their energy is, back to their body. And now request that your feet, palm, and crown chakras open sufficiently to allow a free flow of clearing energy to pass through them. You have small, or what are called minor chakras, in the palms of your hands and also in the arches of your feet. And you also, of course, have the major chakra at the top of your head. And now ask for 15% grounding earth energy to begin moving up through the center channels of your legs, up through the legs, the knees, up to the hips, and then it goes back down into the earth, down the grounding columns that are attached to your first chakra. And you want to tell that earth energy to keep flowing at 15% automatically, whether you're thinking about it or not. This helps keep you well grounded, and it helps keep the channels clear in your legs and the area around your legs in your aura. The next thing you want to do is bring in 85% golden light from the center of creation into your crown chakra and down through your head and neck, down your spine, down to your first chakra, where it mixes with earth energy. And let some of this mixture of earth and golden energy flow down the outer channels of your legs and flow out through the minor chakras in the arches and the little tiny chakras in your toes. And while that is happening, the rest of the energy mixes and fills you like you're an empty container, saturating all of your internal organs and systems. And you observe how some of this beautiful energy flows up through the front and back of your other chakras. So, for instance, the second chakra is below your navel, and it opens out through the front and out through your back. So just imagine it's sort of like a little funnel, and some of this mixture of golden and earth energy flowing out and forming like a little fountain out in front of your aura. And the same with your solar plexus chakra in your upper abdomen, and your throat chakra, and your third eye chakra, or your sixth chakra. And you keep filling with more and more light and sending fountains of light out through each of your chakras. The solar plexus, the heart, your throat, between your eyebrows, and some of that can also flow out through the crown chakra and form like a fountain of light above your head. You could also send some of this mixture of light down your arms and down and out through your palm chakras. They're upright on your lap, and so they can form little fountains of light above your palm chakras. And some can also go out through the little chakras at the tips of your fingers. And you can allow this energy to flow for a few seconds. Or if you feel like some of the energy is blocked somewhere in your body, you can let it keep flowing through that area. Let it flow for several minutes. If you feel like you need to let the energy flow for a little longer, just pause your video here at this moment and just let it flow for as long as you want to until you feel like you're ready to move on again. Next, you want to tell the energy to stop flowing and use your imagination to create a 10-foot cube sponge 10 feet in front of you. So this is a giant sponge 10 feet out in front of you. It's the color of what I would suggest is the color of a sea sponge, which is kind of a brownish color, a light brown color. There's a couple reasons for this. One is the color brown is somewhat of an organic type of a color. You want the sponge to represent something that's absorbent. It will absorb the energy that you're releasing onto it. And you can even imbue the sponge with the quality of being magnetic so that it will attract and hold the energy that you're releasing on it. So you're going to use this as a means of removing stuck energy, blocked energy, negative energy, strong emotional energy. And I find it is one of the most effective methods for self-clearing for that. You want it to be 10 feet out in front of you because remember, you pulled your aura in to 18 inches. And you want this to be well outside of your aura so that what you're releasing into it does not overlap with your energy field because you don't want it to come back. You're going to let go of energy that you don't want coming back. And now, if you have that in place, imagine anyone with whom you've had an interaction with recently. It doesn't need to be a negative one. It could be a positive one. But somebody who's on your mind, and especially anyone who may have created a disturbance inside of you. Maybe they brought up a differing opinion of yours or something like that. You don't want to make it a big deal. But have that person stand right in front of the sponge with the back to the sponge. And you say, either in your mind or out loud, I release all of this person's energy from me onto the sponge, including my reactions and emotions. I release all of this person's energy from me onto the sponge, including my reactions and emotions. Now, next, have that person take a step backward into the sponge, along with all of this person's energy and all the connections to this person. If there are any cords connecting you to that person, you can send them into the sponge as well. So you want to move the sponge now 1,000 miles above the earth and suspend it there for a moment. And then disintegrate it with a brilliant, blazing laser beam of light. And then push that light and everything that disintegrated into a giant vortex, taking it back to the source of creation, where all the energy is neutralized. You can think of that vortex like a big black hole, and it just sucks everything into it and takes it back to the source of creation. Anyone else's energy returns to them in neutral form, and then you can call all of your life force energy back from wherever it might be. So this is both simple and easy, and it's your energy. So since it's your energy, you can say, I call all of my life force essence back from all people, all places, and all things. From anyone or any place, even including all dimensions and all my dreams. What we're going to do is now create an intuitive office, a psychic office in the center of your head. And you're going to imagine that you're using your creative visualization and imagination to do this. So you want to put yourself in the center of your head and just imagine that this is your private office. And you have a desk in there, and you have a nice, comfortable chair behind the desk that you sit in. And you have another nice chair in front of your desk so that other people can come in and sit there and talk to you. There's a phone on your desk. There is a healing computer on your desk. And that computer is plugged into the universal mind, into the mainframe. It has all the healing and clearing information in the whole universe. And it will give you the information that you're asking for when you do your healing work. It has good information to guide you in everything that you're doing. Now, on your desk, you have this phone or a communication device, if you want to call it that you can use to call and talk to anyone, but not just anything about them. You want to be able to talk to their subconscious mind and all of their unconscious beliefs and thoughts. You could also use the phone or the communication device to talk to their physical body, their emotional body, and their mental body. You have a computer on your desk. The computer is connected to the universal healing mainframe. It has all the information you could ever want or need about healing and clearing on anything and anything you can imagine. And you have a nice, comfortable chair for yourself. Now, you want to ask to have someone's higher self come into your office and sit down in the chair on the other side of your desk. And the higher self undoubtedly looks very much like the person that you know. And we're calling in a client or a person who's a friend that you know wouldn't mind you doing this. Your client's higher self will sit in the chair and tell you about a problem. And you're going to dialogue with their higher self to gain some more information about the issue. So, just one sentence is enough to describe the issue. So that's what you want to ask. Give me one sentence telling me what the problem is or the issue is. And then you use your imagination and visualization to imagine the client's higher self sitting across from you and telling you, here's what's been going on in my life, and I want you to know, see if you can help me. Now, simply audibly ask them if they're having any issues for you to look at. If they are generating something here that's getting involved, or they start telling you about something in their aura, or their astral body, or in their chakras. And if you notice it, you may notice little dark spots in certain colors somewhere around them. Don't feel under pressure that you've got to completely heal this person. You may or you may not. One way of clearing energy is to utilize aura raking. This is done by sweeping or scraping using gestures with your hands, as if the person were right in front of you. So you can use your imagination and you go over to them and you can sweep their aura clean, or you can use your hand and imagine that you're scraping off anything that doesn't belong there, or that's anything that's not good for them. You can use your imagination and go over to a person and clear off their aura. And you can do this by imagining it in your mind. And the person may be hundreds or thousands of miles away. But when you imagine that they're sitting in front of you and you're sweeping and clearing their aura, it actually does clean and clear the aura, no matter where they are. So you might think this is just a visualization, or you're making it up in your mind, or it's a gimmick. But it is actually a method of doing clearing. And the more you practice this, and then you start getting feedback from people, you're going to realize this is real. It really does exist, and it really does work. Because we're all projections. We're all like holograms projected from the one source of all. And so we all exist in this matrix. So it doesn't matter whether the person's right in front of you or thousands of miles away from you. Now, next, you want to talk to the person's higher self and ask appropriate questions related to the issues that this client's concerned with. And you continue watching the person's aura, either from across your office, or if you want to think of the person in another room or in another state or in another country, you can use your computer. You have a screen, a viewing screen on your computer, and you can watch on the screen, or you can look directly at them sitting in a chair across from you. Either way will work. One way is sometimes a little easier than the other. So just notice which one seems to work the best for you. Now, in addition, you might also want to practice using your computer screen to zoom in close when it might be helpful to do so. So if they're telling you something about their complexion or something about their skin, you might want to zoom in using the screen on your computer to get a closer look at it. Or in some cases, you might want to zoom way out and get a broader perspective. You can also use your screen and move around and look at different angles. This takes a little bit more practice, but believe me, you can do it and you can get pretty good at it. So look on the screen for some specific information about what you can do to help clear the issue the person's telling you about, or you can help heal that part of the body or the system of the body that they're telling you about. For instance, the unconscious aspect of the mind might be blocked or have beliefs causing problems, or may have some information that the person or the body is not even listening to. For example, if you are tired, your subconscious mind may cause you to not be able to find your car keys, so you can't go out. So you're forced to stay home and rest. The subconscious mind runs the show. So you want to dialogue with it and learn what blocks or what objections it might be holding on to. The subconscious or unconscious will listen to what you bring up on your computer as far as how you can heal this problem. So you will tell that to the subconscious mind through the phone. So you pick up the phone, and then it's up to the subconscious mind whether it wants to change or accept it or not. You are simply going to be the one giving the information. So do this even if you think you're making it up. In most cases, you probably will think you're making it up. And we're just using some methods now to get your mind used to the idea of using aspects of your capabilities that it probably has not used very much in the past. Now, if there's an objection from the person's subconscious mind, you can gather the energy of whatever the objection is, put it in a sponge, and disintegrate it. And maybe do that several times until the subconscious no longer rejects the help. Okay, imagine you're in your office, you're in your chair, you're sitting at your desk, you have invited the higher self of a friend of your choice to come in and sit across from you at your desk, in your office, in the center of your head. Next, you want to talk to their higher self about any conditions or specific issues they might be experiencing. They would like your healing, and they would like your clearing and support. So let them communicate that to you. You can talk on the phone and ask them questions, or you can look on your screen on your computer and ask for more information. And you can just do this now for a little while. If you need more time, once again, just pause the video. Next, you can use the phone to get more information. When you use the phone, you will be talking to the person's body and asking for information from the body itself about what is going on. So you want to ask questions that the body would have some information about. When you use the phone, you're talking to the body, asking for information from the body about the body. And you can ask very specific questions. So try using the phone or talking directly to the body, and I'll join you in about 30 seconds. If you need more time, just pause the video. Next, dialogue with the emotional body. It is the aura layer that is greatly affected by the second and third chakras. You're looking for feelings and emotional reactions. Ask questions such as why it feels the way it does. And you can use the phone for this as well. And I'll rejoin you in about 30 seconds. If you need more time, just pause the video. Next, I'd like you to dialogue with the person's subconscious mind. The subconscious is what regulates all the bodily functions. You want to know what kind of beliefs they hold. The terms unconscious and subconscious can be used interchangeably for our purposes here. Talk to the subconscious just as if you're talking to a person. Ask what it believes about issues. Ask why it makes the choices it does. And I'll rejoin you in about 30 seconds. And once again, if you need more time, just pause the video. Now I'd like you to turn your attention to the computer on your desk. This is the computer on your desk in the center of your head, and it's used for getting specific information. So let's say you're talking to the emotional body, and it says, I sometimes feel depressed because I feel unloved or unappreciated. So I depress the immune system, and they'll feel like they have to stay home and nurture me. Sometimes the subconscious mind thinks that way. It tends to be very literal and almost childlike at times. In most cases, the responses that you receive may not make much sense, and that could be due to the fact that the subconscious receives faulty information from the past, or it has distorted interpretations of what it has seen and heard. So don't expect it to make logical, rational sense. Just be thankful for any information it gives you. And so you want to say, I thank you for this information, and I'm willing to release, let go, and dissolve all need for this condition. Ask what the body needs, and the computer will tell you what the body needs. You might get the idea that it needs certain frequencies or colors or food or activities, or perhaps your computer will just tell you some other specific treatments. Maybe it'll give you a mantra to repeat, or it tells you to bring in the soul or to bring in a particular color of healing light. You can also ask for the person's spirit guides or angels to help. So take a little bit of time now, and I'll rejoin you in about 30 seconds. All right, if you need more time, just pause your player. If you discover any dark or dingy colors in a person's energy field, you can attach a grounding column to their first chakra and drain down the energy down the person's grounding column. So if you run into some grayish energy or some dark energy, you can say, I ask all of this energy now to release and go down the grounding cord or the grounding column down into the earth, and that will help neutralize it. And then you ask the highest enlightened awareness of the soul to fill the area with golden light. And you integrate the soul's light into the causes of whatever the dark energy was about. And now we'll draw this part of the process to the conclusion. Thank your friend for participating and say, I now send all of my friend's energy back to my friend, and I let go of any reactions or judgments I made, and I bless my friend with love and light. If anything disturbing came up for you, put those thoughts and feelings on the sponge. Move it away and disintegrate it with your imagination, and then blast it with light. And then lastly, call all of your energy back into a 3-foot diameter golden sun above your head, and then bring it down into your body and ask all that energy to reintegrate into you, filling you with golden light. And then say, I call myself into present time right here and right now. And then take a deep breath and open your eyes. And the next time you see your friend, you can discuss the session and find out any areas that might be relevant. Remember, this is a training practice, so you can begin learning to perceive subtle energies, and it's natural for you to have questions and doubts about the process in the beginning. But in time, you'll begin to have more confidence, and you'll start receiving very useful information. So now this brings this session to a conclusion.